Well, and
Thank you very much. I represent the Sahari network from Maghreb. From the Maghreb, I am thankful for your invitation to this forum, where we have gathered to discuss the problem, the threat of terrorism and extremism in Islamic, particularly Arab countries, but also in the West. There have been a lot of helpful and interesting interventions, presentations here. They all are intended to get a better understanding of this phenomenon of terrorism and the latest developments related here too. Morocco also has some very recent experience of terrorism these days, and we have quite a few young people from poorer communities who have joined Islamic State, who now engage in spreading extremist ideas, rooting for terrorist organizations. I think that one of the reasons for that is insufficient attention from society, from the government, to the task of educating the younger generations. And our intellectual elites alone are incapable of counteracting extremist ideas. The terrorists and extremists primarily target Arab countries in their activities, especially in their propaganda activities. Therefore, the Arab world needs to unite to counter this threat more than any other region in the world. And this gives an especially important role to the intelligentsia, to intellectual elites. We must try to educate and bring up our young people in the spirit of stability. We must teach them in the true ideals of Islam, and make sure that they will be mature enough and will be able to tell the difference between moderate Islam and radical extremist ideas. We now see that Muslim TV channels and Arab TV channels very often give air to radical preachers, to radical preachers, and radical agitators and preachers essentially become celebrities. Their propaganda is aired, is broadcast under the veneer of free speech, and they get this open platform for addressing millions of people. And we see all these controversies, all these contradictions in Arab nations, in Arab countries, and of course the role of mass media is highly important. Most governments in our countries don't do anything deliberately to support younger people from poorer communities and discourage them from joining terrorist groups. There are no government programs for alleviating poverty, and that is very important. And you know, the people in poor communities, the disenfranchised ones, when their life is hard and lacking any prospects in this world, of course they naturally start thinking of becoming martyrs to ensure themselves decent life, at least in the afterlife. This might explain why so many Moroccan young people have traveled to Syria or Iraq or Libya to engage in terrorist activities and join terrorist groups. Now we finally are getting to give more attention to this issue in Morocco. We also know that some of the Moroccans have traveled to European countries, to the West, to prepare terrorist attacks in those countries. Arab governments should at least have some kind of a methodology, some kind of toolkit for combating terrorism and countering terrorist and extremist propaganda in their respective countries. And of course, our mass media needs to change their practices, to be more diligent and more and faster in reacting to terrorist attacks. We must inform and educate younger people to make sure they are able to distinguish between reasonable, moderate ideas and preachers and extremists. We also need somehow to think of how we can counter extremist propaganda in social media. Arab nations and Western countries as well must unite to fight terrorism. That is the only way to success in this fight. I would like to thank once again Russia for hosting this meeting. I believe this forum is very important and helpful for the Arab world.